Hey, Tej here. Today we're taking a look at technical analysis for a handful of stocks and see what has happened in the previous week and see what our expectations are for the next week ahead. I'll cover wave analysis with Elliott wave theory and provide multiple scenarios price may take and explain why I prefer one count over another. Let's start with Tesla this week, and for this one I've got a bit of a modified count since the last weeks. So for this one I've moved things a bit around and still have the possibility of moving these structures around here. So the overall idea is that we have had a 5-way move in here, then another some kind of 3-way move back in here. However, the reason why I did not like this because we had this divergence at the lows. Generally in any 3-way move we don't have a divergence at the very lows, and that's why originally I was thinking that we had this as a 3-way move like so, and then another 3-way move like so, giving that divergence here for that expanded ABC, expanded flat. Now, since that possible low was in here, we could place this wave 1 here and 2, and that was the original count. However, after that point we would have this as 1, 2, where this would be here, but instead I've moved it up here. Although now this structure is a bit larger than this previous one or this one, it still has an okay look in the proportions as well. And this is 1, 2 allows us to have this as a 3, 4 and 5 here, giving us a third all the way up here, giving us this possibility of having a highest RSI in here, giving us this divergence between these highs and this high here. This would allow us to have that divergence between the 3rd and 5th over here, giving us that 3rd wave RSI peak, or 3rd of 3rd. That would make a lot of sense to me. Now, the issues here, what I had here is that if we are placing this wave 1 over here, we would have this very small wave 4 as well. And both of them are similar looking, some kind of 3-way moves, non-complex either. And since we want an alteration, that's why I was thinking that, okay, we could have this wave 1 up in here. At that point, we could have this some kind of complex correction. Whether the wave 1 is here or here does not really matter overall. The point is that we would have an alternation between these wave 2 and wave 4. They're somewhat similar in size as well, so that would make somewhat sense to me. Now, since then, we would have this structure, however we're going to be labeling it, we would have to have it here as a wave 2. Some kind of 3-way structure like so, or yeah, something like that. It is not perfect looking, and the divergence at the lows is the only reason I don't really prefer this, to be honest. Now, the possibility of having that as the wave 2 gives us the possibility of having a larger correction here on the wave 4. At this moment, however, we could be labeling this as a WXY, looking for that wave 4 already. Now, that wouldn't have, again, that alteration that we were seeking. So it is possible that this first leg here of 3-way structure would be just the first leg of this 3-way structure overall for the wave 4. So at that point, we could achieve that alteration. Hopefully that makes sense. But the scenario here is that we should be holding this previous wave 4 area in here, and we could be doing this sideways structure here, however it turns out to be. But the idea is, or ideal situation would be to hold the lows of $279. Again, Tesla had a 3-to-1 stock split here, so that's why the numbers are like this nowadays. What else? Well, we have some targets here. Minimum we would want to see for this ABC here would be around $285 area, and then well, if we are going towards the 1-to-1 extension of this WXY, then we would be around 275, and we would be breaking down these previous wave 4 lows, so that wouldn't be ideal either. The other option would be that we would have this whole structure as an A, B and C. We have gone beyond the 1.618, but it is not too uncommon for us to have a C wave that is going to these levels. However, again, it is not more common than the wave 3. That's why we are still tracking this wave 3 But again, the wave C is also a possibility. We did have that higher high created here, giving us that divergence. So yeah, it could be done as well. This structure, however, downwards definitely looks corrective. So we'll see how it turns out. Just wanted to mention that the C wave possibility is still there, although very unlikely. The next one is Meta, in which we would be looking at this structure here still. Now the overall idea was that we had a higher time frame wave 4 here, having in triangle, and then we would have this as a 1-2, but another 1-2, and then at this very moment it definitely looks like another 1-2 is coming. I'm still in short on Meta, looking for this possible last wave structure here. We did get a low here, or sorry, a divergence here on this third wave, and definitely could get another divergence here between the fifth and third here on a bit higher time frame as well. This would fit into the idea of this being a wave 1 again, and then we would be looking for higher prices again for that another wave 2, and then continuation downwards. Now, what makes this less likely is the fact that we have so many nested patterns here already visible. So either this is having to really get down in price, or this is something else. At the moment, I'm still keeping my eyes on this one, but I can't really get a bullish structure out of these, just because this first leg here, this is still the lowest price, by the way, here on this one. So it is hard for me to get any 5-way structure in here, otherwise it would be looking like that. So yeah, it doesn't have a right look, so that's why I'm preferring more downside still. But nothing else on Meta at the moment. Still looking for this possibility to go long here after creating this fifth. We know that wave 3 is the largest here, so anything beyond these lows of third would get us to the target of 1.618 compared to the wave 1 here. The other one would be around 2.618, which would be around $153, taking out the current lows. But at that point again, if we are going to go clear these lows here, I would be assuming that we're going to just backtest it and then go forward. At that point, we would probably need to be looking into this structure again, see if there is any other alternate ways to label this, possibly into a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this would be a 2, because at that point we would most likely just take off here with less and less support. That's Meta. Then Baba, we're looking at this structure coming downwards. A bit higher time frame, we would be looking at 1-2, 1-2 setup, and then looking for 3s and 4s downwards. On the shorter time frame, on 1 hour, Baba had this structure coming down as a 5-way structure. We did have the divergence between these lows, and then we would have this some kind of 3-way structure here. Very impulsive looking structure up in here. Definitely can be fitting into the wave 2 here, getting right into the 0.5 retracement, and then we would be looking for way more downside here. The bullish structure here would be instead, we would be ending some kind of higher time frame count. On this case, I had a WXYZ count, which is again less likely. This would be a wave 1 here, then wave 2, and looking for this as another 1-2. Now I had this a bit different looking count before, but again we have taken out some previous lows here, so just modified it just a tad. This is still possible to go higher, however this structure here gives us the 5-wave vibes, so giving us that divergence between these two lows, and then having this as a 3-way move, and then we would be still looking to create a lower low on RSI here in price as well, to take out this previous A wave for the C wave. The minimum we want to see for this structure would be this 0.618 around $82.64, which again the 0.618 would be filled. If we are going to go below the $73.25 area, then we would be invalidating his whole bullish idea completely, and then we would be just tracking the bearish one. But yeah, that is pretty much that. If we are going to be taking out this low here on RSI, then I could be looking for long setups with stop losses right below these lows. It is very close. those, so we'll see how it turns out to be. GME, now again with the previous weeks we had this kind of setup in which we had this as a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. We are talking about how bullish this has a potential of a bullish setup, however is making it less and less likely the more 1-2s we are gathering. I think we had even one more 1-2 here, and on the higher time frame we had even one more starting from here. So I think it was like 5 nested patterns, and that is definitely not likely. So what had happened last week was this dump here, and well, basically this dump here, and we took out these lows. So we can't have the wave 2 here, and we can't really have wave 2 either here, because this structure here is going beyond the 1.618 retracement of this first move, thinking that this could be an A, B, and C. It just doesn't have the right look if it goes beyond the 1.618 there. So instead, I'm turning a bit more bearish here and having this as a possible setup. Now, this would be that we have this as a 1-2 or a B. Then we would have a 1-2, 3, 4, 5. We currently do have that divergence starting in forming here between these two lows. So we could be having this as the 5th. We are right around the 1.618 extension of this first leg towards downside. So that would be giving us more potential of having that wave 3 here. Now, if we are turning up, we could be looking at this as the resistance area around $37 area to 33.8. That would be the previous wave 4 area, and that would be something where we would be expecting another drop downwards for this 5th wave to create that last divergence between this 3rd and 5th here in price and in RSI. So if that is going to be playing out, I don't see it being part of previous moves unless it is part of this here, and we would be looking for downwards. However, this structure here would be a bit too small to my liking. However, I feel like we could be in the 0.618 range here. There we go. So it is possible that we could be having some kind of running flat here. That would be fitting into the idea of this being still that wave 1 that we were talking about in that bullish idea. But yeah, that is just an idea. If, however, we're going to be continuing downwards after this retracement, we would be looking something like this. I won't be trading this GME at the moment. I could be looking into this short, this last short, if this area holds and we get a clear 3-way structure in here. Then at that point we would be looking at that, because on wave 2 we had this as an expanded flat. I think, yeah, just an expanded flat. So that's why I'm actually thinking that wave 4 could be very rapid, and we could have that swift move here into the wave 4. And if that is hitting some good targets here, then I could be looking for this short setup here with a stop loss very tight there. But yeah, that's GME. Netflix, in this one again I modified this count a bit, moved things over a bit from here to here, and yeah, this now looks a bit more proportionate in my opinion. Having this as a wave 1, 2, another 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 into the 3rd here, and then we would be looking for wave 4 somewhere around this previous wave 4 area, and then we would be looking for that last 5th. If you're not in Netflix, I wouldn't be trying to long this unless you want to be looking at comparing it to the previous wave 4 areas and trying to catch this last leg. Definitely there is money to be made here, 10 to 20% probably, but again there is a possibility that this is indeed a C wave and start of something larger correcting structure like so. So yeah, it is not that pretty of a structure. That's why I don't generally look for longs in wave 4s, because generally we don't have that confirmation. Now again, we have the exact same, was it in Tesla, where we have this C wave as a possibility, but again we have gone beyond the 1.618 very clearly, so it is more likely to be that 3rd wave. Now, for this previous week, we had this downfall basically, well, sideways, upwards, and then dump on Friday, and then we could be looking at this as an A, B, and C. Now this B wave here, why I have these markings here, is we could be shifting the B here, having this as a three-way structure, some kind of three waves, and then again upwards, so we could have more time used for the B wave. That is something that we can generally see on B waves, that more time is wasted. And if we are looking at let's look at the basic one. We don't even get to the 0.618 here for the B wave. Generally we want to see that. The 0.382 I consider the minimum, but the 618 would be more confirming that, okay, this is something that definitely can be done already. So to my opinion, or it looks better with the 618 completed. So we could be looking at this as some kind of three-way structure here for that B wave, before looking at this last C wave dump here for the wave 4, and then that possible fifth. But yeah, at least some kind of ideas for the long setups around here at $220 area. But yeah, that's pretty much everything on NFLX. Let's take a look at Coinbase. We had this very ugly looking expanding leading diagonal into wave 1 or wave A. And now since then we've had this possibility of having this as an ABC. Possibility also having this as a triangle in the B wave and then looking for downwards, and we did get that downwards movement. Now looking for long setups here, we did have some kind of already some kind of divergence in price that would be expected on wave C. However, again, the price structure here is really ugly. I can't really get what this is about. Again, getting into the smaller time frames on stocks sometimes is so messy that I feel like I need to be staying at 1 hour and just looking at the overall structures, because this is just abysmal. I can't really create anything of this. So possible long setups here for sure. We are right around, or have already gone through the golden pocket here, and 786 would be the last one I would be expecting us to go to. If we are going to go below this, then we are in risk of having this whole thing not being a wave 1. I just don't see any other way. Can this be a three wave, and then this three wave? I mean, sure it can, but this is so impulsive that I feel like it has to be, it is more likely to be a 5 wave than 3 wave. So yeah, that's the reason why I'm thinking this more as a wave 1 rather than anything of a 3-way structure. But yeah, if we want to be looking for long setups, we would be looking at structures from here on out. If you want to be playing it more safe, then you would be waiting for a 5-way structure here, 3 back, and then looking for that long entry where you had stop loss below here and entries throughout here. Yeah, that would probably be the more common way than trying to catch the knife as we are falling down. It is more safe to do that as well. However, sometimes the stock does just this and just launches, and you would be left out because you would be waiting for these levels here. So there is a risk also in waiting as well. But yeah, that is pretty much everything I wanted to share on today on stocks. If you made it this far into the video, I would appreciate the likes. Link to my free Discord server in the description below. And for now, I thank you for watching and hope you have an amazing rest of your day. See you next video. Bye.